Very nice of you to all come out tonight for this old movie of mine. I must say that who would have thunk it 40 years ago that I would be in Utah presenting Clockwork Orange. The mind boggles. But anyway, I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm really thrilled that it has fans in the outer regions, as they say. You may think you're the center of the world here, I don't know. But to me, this is the nether regions. But anyway, it's so nice to be here and just to talk about the film. You know, really, we'll wait until you've seen it yet again. I'm sure you've all seen it a few times. If there's any, is there anybody here that hasn't seen the movie? My God, man, what rock have you been under? Listen, enjoy the movie, and I will be here at the end because I'm going for dinner now. I've seen it before. Enjoy, and I'll answer any questions later. Thanks again. What can I say? There it is. Into film history, I guess. How lucky was I? Amazing, really. If anybody's got any questions, then I'd be happy to try and answer them. It's an intelligent question, right? Oh, hands go down immediately. Yes. Yes.
Okay, this is a very intelligent question, but let's do the jigs that were in your eyes. Was that painful?
Yes, thank you for asking. Have you ever heard of scratch corneas?
No.
Yes, I had 2 of them. Well, you've only got 2 eyes, so I couldn't have any more. That was the most horrendous thing. In fact, when Kubrick showed me a photograph of a patient with these, they're called lid locks. They're used in delicate eye operations. He showed it to me, and I thought it was some horror film or something, and I went, oh my God. He goes, yeah, what do you think? And I went, oh, horrible. He goes, well, what do you think? I went, no, I'm not doing that. He went, look, I've got a doctor coming in from Moorfields Eye Hospital, famous hospital in London, and the doc, he'll explain to you, that I'm sure he'll say it's safe, and of course he did, he said it was safe, and that it would be fine, and it would have been, but delicate eye operations are normally done when the patient is lying on their back, not sitting up with a straitjacket watching videos. And unfortunately these things kept falling out of my eyes, and I couldn't feel it because they were anesthetized. And it was only on the way home when the anesthetic wore off that I literally thought that somebody took a razor blade and slashed me down my whole body. That's what it felt like. And in fact, it was so painful I had to call up my doctor, who lived around the corner, came around and gave me a shot of morphine. He said, count up to 10. I went, 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, that's good. That's all I remember. But luckily, the eye does heal itself very fast. And the next day, I just felt like I had grit. Oh, can I? Yes, okay. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Stanley Kubrick's notorious for many, many retakes. Every time I watch the scene of you getting dunked,
yes,
for like it's over a minute. It seems like over a minute.
2 minutes, I think.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
How many times did he make you do that?
More than once. It's an amazing shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the truth is, I don't really like to admit this, but it is a bit of a trick. Because we tried it without an oxygen tank, and I think I lasted 3 seconds. Because the water was very cold. It was winter. They couldn't heat the water because of the steam. So they put a single oxygen tank with, a rubber connector with a mouthpiece that one would wear, snorkeling or scuba diving, and they colored the water to hide the tank with a beef extract called Bovril. Now, a little groan there. anyone who's lived in England or is a Brit or even Australian know that Bovril on a piece of bread was like, ugh, God, it was one of those things as a child that revolted one. It's quite the opposite to peanut butter. Bloody awful stuff. Anyway, so they put this thing, I reeked of this beef extract on my clothes. Anyway, they dunked my head in, I could not see the rubber thing, I had to just feel it. So it took a few times before I got hold of it and was able to breathe. And I'm just amazed that actually I was able to do it but it's a very effective shot. And I say, you know, people ask me, but I'm flippant about it and go, big lungs. But I don't have big lungs. Yes. Yeah.
You mentioned your training was with the Royal Shakespeare Theatre. Was that before you did Clockwork?
I did what?
You said your training was with Royal Shakespeare.
Oh yes, you picked up on that, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, I did. Well, train. I mean, that's a loose term.
Was that before?
I trained to do this. And move furniture. Brilliantly. I could have been working for Mayflower. It was perfect. That's about all the training I got at the Royal Shakespeare Company, which I found to be a dead loss. And, you know, they kept asking the actors to sign long-term contracts. And I kept saying, but the whole idea of being an actor is you don't want to know what you're doing in 6 months. You want it to be, you know, you're sort of like a gypsy existence. You don't want to know, you don't want to sign a 3-year contract when you play 12 lines. Is that my phone or yours? Not mine. I don't know. The Royal Shakespeare Company, I've got very ambivalent feelings about that company. I think, personally, it's a load of twaddle. People go, oh my God, they're so brilliant, they're so fucking boring. This image of Gene Kelly, who gave us this iconic moment in history, Euphoria. You know, you think of Euphoria, you think of Gene Kelly. Oh, you did. So cut to a year goes by, the film opens, I'm invited to Hollywood to meet the execs of Warner Brothers, etc., etc. And the minder from Warner Brothers said, oh, you know, there's a party tonight, Malcolm, would you like to come? I mean, it's, you know, there's going to be a lot of movie stars. I go, movie stars? Yeah, that's why I'm here, I want to meet some, you know. So we go to this party, and of course, he went, Gene Kelly's here, would you like to meet Gene? I went, oh yeah, I'd love to meet him. So he had his back to him, and the guy tapped him on the shoulder and went, Gene, I'd like to introduce Malcolm McDowell to you. This is what he did. He turned. He looked at me. And I said, I totally understand. I totally understand. You know, I took his great moment and used it. Hey, that's what art is. Copying from the best.